Hi guys, this is Tim. I've got just a couple minutes to spend with you. Wanted to talk to you about checklists. These are things that are used in aviation, and if you spend just a minute or two with me, they are going to help you out tremendously with this addiction. We all use checklists in fighting this addiction. Trigger response plans are very close. Well, they are a checklist for when we have an emergency, when we're having some problems. And I have a checklist right here for my airplane, and there is a checklist here for emergencies: icing, engine fire during start, power loss in flight, etc. Of course, a lot of these things, well, all of these things, as far as the emergencies go, should be memorized by the pilot. But when after you perform the operation, it's always a good idea to have something on hand to double check, or if there's time to have something on hand to double check. And this equates with the trigger response plan that we all use. But there's also a checklist for normal operations. There's a checklist here for the run-up, which is the portion of the flight right before we take off. And for instance, on this checklist, it says to check the brakes. Fuel should be on the proper tank, usually the fullest tank. Trim should be set for takeoff. Flight controls set. Warning lights check. And what the pilot does is he goes through these by memory, but then double checks to make sure that everything's been done by using the checklist. So how could we use this? Well, I actually have a checklist before I enter it into my home. I keep it in my truck on one of my visors, and the checklist goes something like this. Leave my cell phone and my iPad in the truck, and be mindful. If I'm stressed or tired from work, I take a few mindful breaths, 3 mindful breaths, before I enter into my home, so that I'm mindful and present with my family. And the iPad and iPhone are stashed because they detract from interactions with my family, and they're also very triggering for me. So I leave them in my truck as part of my checklist. So there's lots of situations where during normal operations we can use a checklist in fighting this addiction. Hope this helps. Y'all have a great day. Keep fighting the good fight, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.